And good morning and welcome to the Be Real, Get Real podcast. I am your host, Nancy Matthews, and this is an opportunity and a place where we share real stories of real women making a difference in their own lives, in the lives of their family, friends, and community, as well as the world at large. And I'm grateful for our guest today, Nina Obier, who is with us today, and we're going to be talking with her about her journey in climbing the ladder of success and how you shift from simply status to true significance. So thank you for being with us today, Nina.
Thank you for having me, Nancy. I'm super excited.
I am too. And let me give a little bit of background to our audience before we dive in to the conversation. Nina is an inspirational speaker, a FUNness Facilitator, love that, and clarity coach. In her seminars, workshops, and keynotes, she brings positive energy and a unique ability to make the complex simple. As founder and CEO of Success Simplified, Nina's mission is to provide action-oriented tools and strategies so that her audiences and her clients lead a life of harmony, being able to seamlessly balance the challenges of business life and home. And for more than 25 years, she has been a FUNness Facilitator and Coach, supporting her clients in enjoying the ride while they achieve their next level of professional and personal success. She is the acclaimed author of Listen.Learn.Love.Lead, 40 Simple Messages for an Inspired Life, and My Daily Clarity, 90 Days to Connect, Create, Communicate, and Celebrate. And I just found out she's got her third book in the works, which is The Beauty of Simplicity. So I thank you for being the leader and the expert in this, because I can tell you, I'm really good at complicating things. So I appreciate the simplicity that you bring to really leading a life that you love and enjoying the journey. So Nina, share with us about this climbing the ladder of success, because you've had an interesting journey and some reflections on that journey.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you, Nancy. And it's true. Why do we feel we have to complicate it, right? So let's just tell you the simple story. It wasn't once, it wasn't twice, it was actually 3 times that I climbed the ladder of success. And I use that analogy because when I got out of college, I got my degree in hotel restaurant management, and I was blessed to get a entry-level leadership position with Hyatt Hotels. And the next 9 years, I proceeded to climb the ladder of success like crazy. It was the next carrot, the next promotion, and it went very rapidly. And I loved it. I'll be honest, I loved it. And we moved, my husband and I moved across the country so that I could continue to do that, climbing the ladder of success. And then we moved back, right? So we moved out, we moved back, we moved for his job. And so for 2 years, while I had my first daughter, I was in the hotel business. And my husband and I both wore pagers. So yeah, I am that old.
And some people still have pagers. So I'm just gonna.
Okay, good. I am that young. So we both had pagers and were required to be on call basically 24/7 for our jobs. And so I think that 2 years, I continued to climb the ladder, and I actually reached like almost that top rung, right? Like I'm right there. And I'm now pregnant with my second child, and I'm home on maternity leave. And I got to tell you, something was off. And I don't even know, like the feeling of just, am I really going back to this lifestyle? Like, am I really going to do this? You know, I'm not sure. And the cool part is I just realized this because I went to my bookshelf, and there was a book that I had been gifted 23 years ago when I was on that couch from my mother. And it's called The Path. And it's actually about writing your own personal mission statement for your life. And so that was my first time, actually taking a pause and answering the deep questions, right? And so while on maternity leave, unbeknownst to the hotel, I went out and went into the newspaper. Okay, now I'm really dating myself. And I answered a wanted ad. And I got a position. And I went back early from maternity leave to my next career, which was to be in training and development with the Federal Reserve Bank.
Wow. Wow. So let me pause a moment. So you went to college, got your degree, got a field in the path that you were passionate about, you were enjoying it. And then somewhere along the way, and I think the realization happened for you when you actually had an opportunity to be removed from the maze. And when we're in that circle of going up the ladder, it's just everyone around you is all doing the same thing and da 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 da. And then you get home and you're on maternity leave and you're, wait a minute, this is another kind of life. And it gave you that space to reflect.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it actually started the trajectory that is now. So I went to the Federal Reserve Bank and came in early from maternity leave. They didn't even know I had a baby, by the way. Oops, the secret's out now, right? And I jumped in.
I love it.
And oh my gosh, again, here we go again, in love with what I was doing. I mean, I was able to have that marker on that flip chart paper. Oh, it was so exciting. And then I got certifications in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and What Matters Most. And I really was a true change agent in a pseudo government facility that awesome. I didn't know I was going to be able to be that person. And so here we go again. And now I'm getting ready. Like, now they want me to train regionally. Like, it's really happening. And by the way, my husband is still on 24/7 call. And now it's like, ooh, now I get to go to all these regional events. And whoa, wait a minute. And actually where I had my wait a minute moment was after September 11th.
Yeah.
And I distinctly remember laying on my bedroom floor while my babies were asleep. And my husband was actually in New York in the aftermath, crying, just crying my eyes out, going, what am I doing? Yeah. What am I doing? So back to, I had been journaling since 1997. That first time I asked those hard questions, I then went into a gratitude practice that I learned from a book called I think it's called Simple Abundance, another book, right? Oh. That my mom gave me.
Well, I have to tell you, that book, it's pink and it's thick, right? Simple Abundance. That was one of my life changers given to me by my friend Dawn Burgess. Thank you, Dawn. And I got it in the 90s as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have it. I have all my writings, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, 1998, I did a whole gratitude practice every single day. Like, so anyways, let's see what happens. I decide I'm going to stay home, right? I'm going to stay home and I'm going to take my hobby and make it a business. And I then spent the next 13 years, wait for it, climbing the ladder of success. Because I couldn't help myself in the direct sales industry. Yeah. And I reached the top 2% of the company. Wow. And literally a month after that, I found a writing just recently because we were doing some clearing out in our house where I sound at my lowest of lows of again, just, I was wandering through stores. I wasn't like in my business. I wasn't working. I was like, is this all there is? And here I was, top 2% right. of a direct sales company.
And I love how you shared, the lowest of lows when you were at the top of your game, or the game as somebody else had laid it out, right?
Right.
And I think our audience, I know I myself can relate to that too. When I had my thriving real estate company and a title company, and it's like business is flowing in, and I was like, I don't really like this. What did I build? Right?
Right. Now, the universe always, right? God always works in my favor. Everything is always happening for me, right? And I know that. And I know that's how I've always gotten through things. And so the actual direct sales company went through a bankruptcy. And that was my opportunity to get real, right? To get real and go, all right, am I sticking with this? Does it still serve me? Is it still in alignment? Or is it time? Is it time? And that's when I took the leap of faith and I started my own company. And that is now almost 7 years ago.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so let's talk about some of the courage and the tools and the practices you used to not only make the leap, but stay in the leap. And here's what I know for myself is, you can leap into entrepreneurship or whatever that next venture is that you're going for, and then fear shows up and you're like, oh no, should I be doing this? And for me, my pre-programmed climbing of ladder of success that had been ingrained in me for years, I even brought that to my new business. So in the beginning, I wasn't working from ease and flow and purpose. I was still in that rat race a little bit. So did you experience that?
Well, yeah. Old habits die hard. So yeah, and definitely in the beginning, it's amazing how I've even evolved, right, in the 7 years and what I came out doing, which is so interesting because I still, even when I stepped into it, was like, I had to look a certain way. I had to act a certain way. I had to be this what people were expecting because this is where I came from, right? And even my moniker, right? My moniker, leadership liaison, was almost like, if I'm being honest, not in total alignment, right? Not in total alignment. Now, did it work? Did I get the work? Did I grow? Did people come along? Absolutely. But as I did what I always do, which is put pen to paper, and when I started really tapping into the God within and again, who I'm supposed to serve and how I'm supposed to serve in the life that I've been meant to live and share with others, this simple life, that's when I really, again, just stepped out and said, no more. I'm going to do it the way that feels right to me.
And it takes courage. I'm going to go down another path here because over the past several months, maybe about a year even, I've been watching you. You're part of Women's Prosperity Network in our community, and we've been growing, side by side in many, many ways. And a few months back, you started speaking more clearly and openly about faith and, God being such a big part of your life. And so speak to that for me as well.
Thank you for noticing, and thank you for asking. It's interesting. In 2012, right? So 2013 is when the business started, and 2012 was right when that turmoil, and I'm at the top, but really, I actually went to a retreat. And I went to the retreat because, I wanted to make my friend happy. I was going to support her.
Sounds familiar.
That's fun. And actually that really was the change. And my kids, if you ever interview them, they'll go, oh, she walked out the door one, Mom, and came back another.
Wow.
And it's interesting, like you said, so that was 2012, but I didn't incorporate it, right? I didn't incorporate it because what are we doing? We're watching other people. We're afraid. Oh, what is she going to think? What are they going to think? Oh, people are going to think I'm crazy. Okay. I am crazy.
It takes a little while to be okay with people thinking you're crazy.
Right.
And that goes back to, one of our major fears in life is the fear of criticism and all of that. So that's, it's a real thing that goes on that we must overcome or choose to overcome.
Absolutely. So just so you know, interesting you say this has just happened over the past few months, because it has. I attended another retreat, this time like this. Not this time like, oh, you're right, I need to re-audit. Like there's something bigger here, and let me tell you. And that's when I knew that no more. I can't, I will not deny it. I cannot deny it. It's part of who I am. And I'm not here to push it on anybody.
No.
I really am not. This is who I am, right? This is who I am. And if it's for you, come on. And if it's not, okay.
Well, and I think for me, the message within that message is actually about listening to what's within you, that seeking expression, that what is the message that's in your heart to share, and and whether it's about your faith, whether it's about science or the environment, whatever it is, that the way people think, or whatever, if it's in your heart, seeking expression, and it brings more love, light, and value to the world, don't worry about what other people think. Follow that. Because I know for me, the more that I listen to what's inside of me seeking expression, and I journal all the time, the more I listen and follow that, the more simpler and easier my life gets. I work, but it's simple and easy rather than complicated and forced, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Grace and ease.
Grace and ease, baby.
Gotta love it.
And you actually, so you're in your business now, you work with clients and companies and do speaking engagements to share how to have a simpler, more ease and flow life. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what's so interesting, it's again, full circle. Now that I've really paused and been asked to be more real, it comes back to those days where I was teaching the 7 habits of highly effective people and what matters most. And really this whole, we have a purpose in us that was from birth, that God placed, and that doesn't change, right? That's what I believe. I believe our purpose is foundational, and how we live it out, our vision changes, and it changes with us.
Yeah. Yeah. And it ties into, what are your gifts? What do you like, your likes and your dislikes? I love vanilla and chocolate ice cream, not so much cherry vanilla. But you might love cherry vanilla. I don't know. It doesn't.
I just love that we both love ice cream. I mean, I'm like, I could eat it every day.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, Nina, thank you so much for sharing with us today. And for all of our audience out there, you can get in touch with Nina go ahead and share your website, and there'll be a link on the page as well.
Absolutely. So ninaobier.com. And also just come join me in Facebook. I am definitely playing in Facebook land, and just like Nancy said, want to share from my heart and hear from you and connect. So my page is Nina Obier. I would love to connect with you there.
Beautiful. Thank you for being with us today. I appreciate you, and appreciate where we all continue to grow and evolve together. It's the journey, right?
It is.
I love it. I love it. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the Be Real, Get Real podcast. And be sure to tune in for another amazing episode. Until next time, make it an extraordinary day, and get out there and be real and get real. And that's how you achieve real results. Bye, everybody. Bye, Nina.
Bye.